Hey friends, how are you? Hope you're well and you've had a good week. Mine's been not bad actually. Was out the other day with my other half for lunch, which was nice. So it was the first time being in my new car, so that was good. Mum and I this afternoon are heading to Fort Kinnaird, which is a local sort of on the outskirts of Edinburgh mall. We're going there to Waterston's. I need to pick up a couple of books. So need to do that this afternoon. One of them is the new Kathy Reichs, Hacker Bones, and the other one I think is the new. I've got so many on order. I think it's the new. It's either Jill Shalvis or Rayanne Thane, and I can't remember which one it is. Never mind. I'll do a haul next week and let you see. So yeah, we're doing that this afternoon, which will be nice. But apart from that, it's been a sort of quiet week, which, has it really been a quiet week? Yeah, I think so. Oh, weeks are just melding into each other. Days are just melding into each other at the moment, which is it's okay, I guess, but it would be better if they weren't. I was sort of saying to my friend Rebecca, the colourful book nester, that this year I didn't have a planner. 2023 I didn't bother with a planner. And I'm not kind of planning days in many ways, and I think that's why things are just all melding into one another, because I don't have much structure to my days. So maybe I'm going to need to in 2024. I'm thinking to the new year already, thinking about maybe I should have make myself a planner and just have days structured, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not making any major decisions on that. I'll just go with the flow at the moment. So reading wise, 1, 2, 3. I've finished 3, and I've got 2 going, so that's not bad actually. So I finished All You Need Is Grease by Sue Roberts. Gave that 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was about this girl who breaks off her engagement because her fiance won't set the date for their wedding, and she decides that she needs to get out of their town because she sees him everywhere. And she goes to Greece to a dog rescue centre to volunteer for a couple of weeks. And in the airport, she meets another girl, Hannah, who is also there for the same reason not for the same reason. She's just there because she wants to spend some time before she goes back to university. And it's the story of the two of them, their friendship, the people they meet there, the people who are also there at the dog rescue as volunteers, how they all work together and how they raise funds for the dog shelter and become involved in, the village life, etc. It was really nice. I really liked it. It was a nice, easy read. I can see you reading it on the beach or whatever. It's a good summer read. And yeah, it was nice. I liked it. I'm not raving totally about it. So you got 3.5 out of 5. So it's a good read. So I have to say I did like the dog rescue. That really drew me in. So I did enjoy it. So then I read Just Like That by Nina Kay. I bought this one at the First Date Romance Book Festival in Edinburgh, and Nina very kindly signed this for me. So we meet Jess, and Jess is this really hotshot events manager, and she loves her job. It gives her so much purpose, so much fulfillment. It's her dream job, and she's got these really 2 big accounts that she is just really, really looking forward to working on. But then gets the news that her big brother, who she's really close to, has had a stroke, and it's very much touch and go for a bit. And her parents are not that supportive or helpful in many ways. So basically, Jess ends up having to be the carer for her brother, although she gets help in. Because of this, she's having to cut her hours at work, And her boss is okay with that, but he's not okay that she wants to keep her big accounts. He's like, no, you've got to hand them over. You can't cope with big accounts, etc. when you're doing this. And Jess is like, yes, I can. And he's like, no. He was like, he really wasn't very helpful. And he puts her on this account for an animal shelter or an animal park in East Lothian. And she meets the head head keeper at some point before she actually goes to the shelter, and they didn't exactly hit it off, and he doesn't think that the centre needs somebody to be organising events, blah blah blah. So they really kind of clash. But it's also her time there, what she learns about the animals, how she helps the centre get on an even footing, how they manage to organise events, etc. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5, and the romance was nice. It was a slow burn romance. It was really lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I also liked the interaction between Jess and her brother, and her brother's like carer as well, because he was in for 3 days a week so that she could go to work. I really liked that interaction, and I liked how her brother was like, will you stop treating me like an invalid? I can still do things, and I want our relationship to be the way it was before I had my stroke. It was really good, really poignant. So really, really enjoyed it. And I would definitely read something else by Nina Kay. That is for sure. I then read on my Kindle Amish Christmas Killer by Lenora Worth, Rachel J. Good, and Kelly Long. So this was lovely. You had 3 short stories. So the first one we meet. Let me think how I'm trying to remember totally which ones were which. Hold on, wait a minute here. Right, okay. The Rachel J. Good one was set in the farmer's market that all her stories are written in. And this Amish girl, is going to help at the cheese stall. And she met the owner, who was an older gentleman, but she didn't realise that she'd be working with his son. And his son is quite good looking. His son is a widow, and it was a tragic accident. That's all I'm going to say. And one day she spots this little boy and girl, and he is stealing bits of cheese. Well, not stealing bits of cheese. They have like a tasting platter out, and he sort of whips cheese. He takes cheese from both him and his sister, and he also then sort of steals a wee bit from the candy store, and she kind of catches him, and she gives him money to pay for the sweets, and she works out that they're basically runaways, and herself and her mum are foster parents for the local children's services. So she manages to persuade the kids to come back to the stall with her. Obviously Isaac, the guy, I think it was Isaac he was called, is not happy about this, but he accepts it, and she phones the social services lady, and she agrees that the kids can be fostered with her dishing out. So it was the story of this girl getting to know the children, but also her romance with the Amish widower, and it was really lovely. And it's seeing the changes that the kids go through. For the wee boy Jax, it's very difficult. For his sister Violet, it's a bit easier. Jax has a bit of a hard time, but it all works out in the end. The third one by Kelly Long was to do with a lady who um, advertises for an Amish husband in a paper, and this guy sees it, and he's just come out of prison for a very minor crime, and he applies, and he basically gets the job, and it's the story of them working out how the relationship is going to go. There's also a side story of the lady's best friend who's a teacher, who's the Amish teacher, and there's another Amish man that's interested in her, so there's that side story as well. It was really sweet. It was a lovely story. I liked the way that they managed to intertwine both stories. I thought it was really well done. And it was just a very, very gentle, very, very gentle story. I'm going to have to go and refresh my memory on the first one, which is awful. But I'll be back in a minute. That's right. The first story by Lenora Worth is to do with an Amish family that run this inn. And there's a story it's run by three sisters plus their parents, and each of the sisters has a story as to how they met their husbands, and they have like a quilt each hanging in the inn as to their stories. One night, one of the sisters sees this lady out in the snow, and it's like she's struggling, so she goes and rescues her, and it's discovered that she was trying to get into town to go and pick her husband up off the bus, and this lady is pregnant and she's in labour, and luckily that the mother of the sisters is a midwife, so she deals with or helps the lady, as the sisters all help as well. And their husbands go to the bus depot to see if they can find the bus, but they actually find the bus on the way to the depot because it's got stuck in the snow. So they bring all the people from the bus to the inn, and they're Amish, they're English, and it's the story of all of them being together for Christmas at the inn, and also the lady's, baby is born, and so there's the whole Christmas story. It was beautifully written, and I really like the fact that some of the characters decided they want to come back to the inn after once they've left, and they're going to come back for a holiday and everything, and it was just so well written. I really, really enjoyed that one. I gave this one 4.5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I mean, I love Amish stories anyway, and this one just like really hit the mark for me. It was so good. So what I'm reading just now is this is a buddy read with Amanda from Amanda Reads. We are reading Hidden Currents by Christy Barrett. This is like a mystery stroke thriller. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm wanting to see how it's going to finish. I don't know whether it's the first of a series and whether I'm going to have to keep reading the series to find out. But at the moment, no, I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm about 60% of the way through it, so I'll definitely get that finished maybe this afternoon, or well, no, not this afternoon because I'm going to pick out those books, but definitely over the weekend. And I'm also reading Before the Shalley School, The Last Term at Taverton High by Helen Barber. This is, for those of you who are Shalley fans, this is the story of Rosalie Dean's last term at high school, and also Mary Burnett's last term at high school. So before they go out to Austria to the Shalley School. So I'm enjoying it. It's an interesting story. So that's kind of what I'm going to be reading. I mean, I'll get this one finished. I've got to get that. I'll get this one finished this weekend. So that's what I am, sort of reading just now. I suspect that I may well start the new Kathy Reichs this weekend. It wouldn't surprise me. I may try and hold off, but yeah. I kind of definitely in the mood for a temp. Now that I know I'm getting it, I'm in the mood for a Temp Brennan. So yeah, I suppose I will watch that. I will read that. So what else I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to watch rugby. There's the start of the Rugby World Cup build-up matches, so Scotland are playing it tomorrow. There's also the next sort of weekend of the, or next round of the Rugby Championship, so I'll watch that. Excuse me. I've got some cross stitch. I've got a cross stitch I want to try and finish this weekend and start a new one. That would be good. But that's kind of my plans. I think that'll be enough to keep going with, if I'm honest. Reading, cross stitch, rugby. I think that's enough for this weekend. So yes, that's kind of been my reading week and my week. Please let me know down in the comments if you read any of the books that I've mentioned, and if so, what did you think of them? Are there any of the books that I've mentioned that you fancy reading? What have you read this week? What are you reading this weekend? And also, what are your plans for the weekend? I would love to know. Let's chat down in the comments. It'd be really nice to do so. But as I say, have a great weekend, friends, and enjoy whatever you're going to do. But until my next video, stay safe and happy reading. Bye.